Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just DCTV as a whole. So, as we know, we're entering 2023. We're also entering into a new period and chapter and era of live action DC content because, of course, we do have James Gunn and Peter Safran putting a stamp on things, and 2023 is when we'll get a lot of stuff revealed, like hopefully over the next couple of weeks, if not the next week before the month ends. We'll get announcements on what their first projects are, but then of course you'd have to think that we start moving into the territory of them being developed, people getting cast, directors getting attached, and the actual filming start. Now that might be waiting until 2024, but seeing that DC only has one movie lined up in 2024, I think they'd probably want to start making stuff ASAP, so at least maybe something can come out by the end of at the end of 2024 and obviously early 2025. But we knew going into this whole new era of DC that James Gunn and Peter Safran were planning a connected thing over both the movie side but also the TV side, which would be harnessing HBO Max or whatever the streaming service is called by the middle of this year, because apparently it's changing names. So obviously the DC shows on HBO Max specifically, they're transferred over from either DC Universe or other places. They were going to be in trouble if they're live action, just like, well, they going to continue with them, or is that going to make things a bit, mixed up, especially if certain characters on those certain shows are wanting to be used by James Gunn in maybe a show on HBO Max he wants to use, or one of the movies, and it makes things a bit confusing. Well, we finally got the answer to this because, as you can see on screen, Titans, Doom Patrol ending on HBO Max. Now, this is the interesting thing. I don't think it's ending because they're in the exact same situation, and when we read it out, you'll see that they're in the exact same predicament as Stargirl, but Stargirl was cancelled. So I don't know, I guess it's selective terming. Like, ending is like The Flash, like Supergirl, Arrow, they ended. But this is like what's happening with Stargirl. Like, certain things are happening. There's not enough room for them, or not a place anymore. They didn't go into the season thinking it was going to be the last one. They just made an ending for the respective seasons, which we'll read out in a second. So I don't know why. It's selective terming, I guess. I think it's an actual cancelled branding because it's very similar to the Stargirl situation. But each to their own. It's a confusing one. But this is actually, I think, Hollywood Reporter, might have been the one that got the exclusive, or at least they've added stuff to it. But I think they were like the ones that got the official announcement from DC, Warner Brothers, and the people involved with the shows. But it does say here, the current fourth seasons of both of the Greg Berlanti produced HBO Max dramas will be their last. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. Sources say producers on both Titans and Doom Patrol saw the writing on the wall amid all the changes with DC Entertainment and plotted their current seasons with proper endings as to not leave fans in a lurch. Now, obviously, these started filming a while ago. You know what I mean? So I think maybe when they were in that last third, maybe to a quarter of the seasons, that's when they started to wrap it up and write it up, which is very similar to Stargirl. While these will be the final seasons of Titans and Doom Patrol, we are very proud of these series and excited for fans to see their climatic endings, an HBO Max spokesperson said in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter. We're grateful to Berlanti Productions and Warner Brothers Television for making such thrilling, action-packed, heartfelt series. We thank Titans showrunner Greg Walker, the executive producers Greg Berlanti, Akiva Goldsman, Sarah Schechter, Jeff Johns, Richard Hatem, and the team at Weed Road Pictures. Interesting. For Doom Patrol, we celebrate showrunner Jeremy Carver and executive producers Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, Jeff Johns, Chris Dingus, and Tamara Beecher Wilkinson. For 4 seasons, fans have fallen in love with the Titans and Doom Patrol, investing in their trials and tribulations and in their legendary battles, saving the world time and time again. Now, there's some other statements which are down here from other people as well, like the certain showrunners and everything like that, but it's more of the same. Now, Diane Guerrero, who plays, can't remember the character off the top of my head, I'm sort of having a brain fart, but on Doom Patrol, she posted something the other day where it said goodbye or something like that, an Instagram post with a picture of her character from the show. And everyone was like, well, what the hell does that mean that Doom Patrol's ending? And obviously that's the case. And even some of the final episode names for the respective seasons of both Titans and Doom Patrol do give a series finale sort of feel to them. So I think Doom Patrol just wanted its break. I don't watch Doom Patrol, so it's hard for me to give too much thought on that. But Titans is in this mid-season thing that it had. and it was meant to apparently come back like now, but it's been like not coming back till like April. Like it was rumored that it was coming back in January after Doom Patrol finished its first bit of the season or something like that. But now we're waiting ages for Titans to come back, and maybe it was because of this whole situation here with the cancellations and them ending and everything like that. That I'm assuming is why we're waiting for that second half, which makes it a bit weird because now you're waiting for, but I guess it adds some like curiosity as to how it's going to end as well. So, but I think it's a bit awkward that now you have to wait maybe like an extra 2 or 3 months to see how a cancelled show finishes. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. Now, of course, this is on the HBO Max side, but as we know, the CW is cutting down things in regards to its shows. But then, of course, the DC shows on there also have to battle with this live action stuff with the James Gunn stuff as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Look, I don't think we're really counting Gotham Knights too much, but it's going to be very interesting to see how Superman and Lois plays into this now, because there is still no word on whether this is the final season of Superman and Lois. Now, I think if they were going to announce that, they probably wouldn't announce it until maybe after it starts airing. But then again, maybe they could announce it like just before it starts airing. It probably doesn't really matter too much. It's probably like a flip of the coin. Probably some people would prefer it, before it starts airing, so they know what they're getting into once they start episode 1 of season 4 of Superman, or season 3, might I say, of Superman and Lois. But then some will be like, I probably wouldn't mind waiting until like there's only like 4 episodes left of them saying that it's the final season or something like that, and we're not getting any more after this. So it's probably like a flip of the coin. It depends who you talk to. But because this news is coming out now, and like apparently we're not meant to be getting like Doom Patrol, not Doom Patrol, sorry, the continuation of Titans for a few months apparently, even though that's not confirmed at the same time, but it's just like a rumor. It does make you wonder when we'll get an announcement on Superman and Lois. Like Gotham Knights, I don't think they'll say, just because it's its first season, they won't say anything until probably until the first season's over, to be completely honest. They'll just let that air, But with Superman and Lois, we could get an announcement like this sometime soon. But of course, as we've already mentioned in this video, this is sort of happening and being pushed because of the new stuff around DC and the live action stuff with James Gunn. So you'd have to think, and it obviously depends how you feel as a viewer, a DC fan, a DC live action fan, whatever it is, how you feel towards James Gunn in this situation, that shows are ending or being cancelled or being changed up or just not happening because of this change. And I think that might put pressure on him, but at the same time, it might alleviate some pressure because now he's got more room to work with. It depends how it works in James Gunn's mind. I don't know. I'm not James Gunn. You're not James Gunn, unless James Gunn is watching, So I don't know if it adds more pressure or alleviates it. It's probably once again, like a flip of the coin. I don't think it'd be a mix of anything. And I think the only pressure there now for James Gunn is to announce stuff, which, he said it was going to be the case in January. We've only got a handful of days left in the month of January, so time is ticking, though I think he's probably going to wait till January 31st and then announce it. It wouldn't surprise me too much if he waited right to the end. It's like when you have an assignment at school, she's like, I'll just do it on the day that we're meant to be, that is due, and I'll hand it in at like 11:59 p.m. The deadline's midnight. I'll hand it in at 11:59. So that might be what James Gunn is going to do. Now, in regards to Titans and Doom Patrol as shows, Titans, of course, was all over the place. Like that's just the best way to put it. Doom Patrol, as I said, I didn't watch it after season 2 or something like that, so I can't really comment too much on how it's been since that point up to now. I know it does have a very niche fan base that love the show. It definitely does give me Legend of Tomorrow vibes, both not only what the show is a bit weird, but also in regards to the fan base as well for the show. But Titans was obviously a bit more mainstream, but obviously I think kept on going because it was on Netflix and very popular on Netflix internationally. But this season is, I guess it's a bittersweet thing because this season of Titans has been the best so far. Hopefully it can finish strong, and at least you can say that Titans finished on a good note rather than a bad note. If you flip the seasons around, it would probably be the other way around. I still think Titans season 2 is arguably one of the worst seasons of superhero television in existence, but this season has been quite strong, so hopefully the break that they had lets them tidy things up and make it finish on a bit of a better run. But once again, that's a wait and see. As I said, I don't know about the Doom Patrol dates and stuff like that, but hopefully we get some sort of Titans mid-season premiere or part 2 premiere, whichever they're calling it, sometime soon. but that's a wait and see. Now, obviously, there is one show that's waiting there that is a DC live action show on HBO Max that has no word on it yet, and that is Pennyworth, or Pennyworth: The Origin of Batman's Butler. Is that the like the extended weird title they gave it after it was called Pennyworth for its first few seasons? There's no word on that. I think they actually said in that article we went over from Hollywood Reporter that it's just no decision yet. So just sitting there, and that of course like came from like different producers and stuff. This is all Berlanti stuff, the Titans and Doom Patrol stuff, so it's all very much connected, while Pennyworth was disconnected with other producers and everything like that. I mean, it aired on a different service for most of its time before coming over to HBO Max. So if you're a Pennyworth fan, there's just no word at this moment. They're disconnected, so that's probably something that will happen sometime later, and I think it's just got a completely different development process, and it's not in the same vein as Titans and Doom Patrol, where it uses certain characters. Like Pennyworth, you know, it's very unique, if you want to call it, in what it is. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there if you're a fan of it. But as I said, I think with this announcement, I think it does spark up that curiosity around what's happening with Superman and Lois, which is a wait and see. Fingers crossed things go good, but I think this does limit the chances of Superman and Lois going over to HBO Max now, because I think I said it in previous videos where we're talking about that. I think that would be reliant on those other DC shows to stay around for Superman and Lois to slot in. But then again, Superman and Lois was more popular than Titans and Doom Patrol on HBO Max after it initially airs on the CW. So it was only just behind Peacemaker, and Peacemaker got a season 2 and they're moving ahead with that. So I don't know, maybe that bodes well for Superman and Lois, but I think maybe it's staying on the CW, if the CW does want to renew it, is probably its best chance now. But once again, we'll wait and see a couple months down the track, most likely, when they make an announcement on what's happening there. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on to show your support. What are your thoughts on this? Were you a fan of Titans and or Doom Patrol? Are you sad to see them go? Do you think it's the right time? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.